again, I know, you come from the Pete Carroll world, right? So my wife and I went to see him teach his final class at USC. He was a professor in something called The Game is Life. And what I witnessed there was one of the most remarkable moments I've ever seen in a classroom or a lecture hall. The kids who Pete was teaching all year long, and he was teaching the class with there's a photograph of the last class, and it was a last class for a lot of these kids. They were about to graduate, and he was teaching it with the head professor of religion at USC, and it was his whole always compete mantra, and he read his poem about always compete, and he was basically giving these kids life lessons about how to share themselves and know themselves and share themselves with other classmates and human beings in the world. And their reaction was they were in tears. They were telling stories about how their lives changed. And I've heard you use the word compete multiple times in this interview for your team. And I'm wondering how much you take from Pete that you bring to bear in your gig, Dan.
Yep. And I'm glad that you guys got to go see that. He is remarkable as a teacher. And I think as coaches, you could almost put that word in, Rich, almost every time you see the word coach. That's literally our top job, is to teach and find new ways. And so the competitive side of him, it wasn't just me competing against you. It was really in everything to say, is this a higher standard you can take yourself to? Mm-hmm. And so compete against yourself, the other guys, your whole group. And if you really had that as a mindset to absolutely go after it, that would become basically who you are. That is, a big part of your culture, because that's the things that you do every day. And so that part of competition, I did learn a lot from him. I was one of his students for 3 years of being in the classroom with him, and he made a tremendous impact on me.
And how much do you instill that sort of stuff in Jayden Daniels? Again, I'm sorry to keep on, turning to one guy, but you know the world, right? And in this league, the quarterback-driven league. I mean, how do you install that enrichment into somebody who is already so talently enriched, right? How do you do that?
I think the secret sauce of Jayden, he already is this rare competitor, Rich. And so that's the thing maybe you don't know about somebody until you spend that much time with him. But there is no flinch in Jayden Daniels. He already is a rare competitor, and you added the innate talent to it. So I don't think it's the other way around with him, this innately talented person, and then you had the competitiveness. I think the competitiveness for him came first. As talented as he is, and even as good as his legs are, he'd be a tremendous, just pure pocket passer. But when he gets outside the pocket, and now he's a dual threat, man, he is lethal. But that competitive side of him, he's in the rare company, Rich, of the best. And that's all the unseen work that goes in of him getting ready for those moments that he had. He had practiced those so many times. There was nothing by coincidence with that.
So do you stoke it? Stay out of the way?
Yes, absolutely.
What do you do?
Throw gas on it.
You throw gas on it.
Yes, because that also raises the level of competitiveness of all his teammates, of the organization, and we really stand for that here. And so from Adam first, through me, through the team, that is what we're about, and we love that. We try to find that in others and reward it and embellish it to let them know this is who they are. And there's so many unique players here on this team, Rich, that we wouldn't talk about on a show, but that have huge roles and impacts here. And the type of teammates they are, not every player is going to be great like Jayden. Man, you can be a great teammate, and it's part of what makes coaching this team so much fun. There's a hell of a group of guys here together that are really battling for it. So that part makes coaching this team so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, McLaurin obviously is an OG. My guy Sanders still from Michigan is another, is a young guy now in his second year as well from that draft class. I mean, I could go on. That's why it is so exciting in your area. But I'll take one last bite at this apple before letting you on with the rest of your day. You got a good example of how you stoked it with Jayden Daniels? Because again, he's so even keel. I wouldn't even know what it looks like when he's stoked. You know what I mean? What do you got a good example of you doing that, Dan?
Oh yeah, there's plenty. I can think back to the end of last season, outside for a lot of 27, 28 degree practices, and reminding him, hey, maybe inside today too. Not a chance, bro. We were outside team in the NFC East, and he would proceed to go outside, and a number of practices like that. From the offensive side, the ball did not hit the ground. So that was his way of showing, yeah, I'm ready for anything. And those are the moments that I think about a lot with him.
So he's like, it's cold. Let's go indoors. And you're like, nope, you're in the NFC East. Let's see you do it.
That is correct,
kid. And he's and I'll show you. We're not going to have the ball hit the ground. Right?
That is correct. That is correct.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.